This one's going to be a banger. I'm talking about Hasan Piker, Hasan the Hun, Hasan Abi. This is a famous anti-Zionist, communist, Twitch's biggest star. Twitch's biggest star. And what did he say? Hasan Piker said something about this guy, and he said something about this guy. He said that this guy cared about Medicare fraud, and then he said, well, this guy doesn't care about Medicare fraud because he had a big Medicare fraud scandal. So when he says he cares about Medicare fraud, healthcare fraud, then he should not like this guy. But that's not exactly what he said. Let's take a listen to what did Hasan Piker, Hasan the Hun, Hasan Abi, Jink's nephew, what did this anti-Zionist, communist, Twitch's biggest star, what's he spouting off about now?
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott is because, and not make him a prominent part of the Republican Party, is because he, to this day, is still also known as committing the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history.
Piker was referring to when Senator Rick Scott...
Well, that's incredible. Marianne Williamson has taken that one lady's spot. I mean, wouldn't this Rising the Hill, both Sagar and what's Kyle's wife? What's her name? Because you have a journalist who looks up to Marianne. Marianne ran for president. Marianne is now sitting in the same seat that the journalist was sitting in herself. And so the journalist, whose name is escaping me right now, Crystal Ball. Shouldn't Crystal Ball run for president? If you're over 35 years of age, I think Kyle Kalinski's over 35 years of age. They think they fucking know so much about goddamn politics. Can they even win a House representative seat? Can they even win a Senate seat? And do they have the goddamn balls to run for president? You know, really running for office is just putting your name on the damn ballot. And I guess if you want to do, a good campaign, then you'd have to do some rallies and handshaking and some speeches and whatnot. But all you'd have to do is just put your name on the damn ballot. That's all you'd have to do. But this isn't about Marianne Williamson. Now, is it? And to give, Robbie a credit, this Robbie character guy, he says, hey, free speech is free speech is free speech, and free speech galore, Oh, free speech. Now, here you have this guy, Nux Anner. Now, Nux Anner doesn't put his face on it, and I think he dubs his own voice because it doesn't sound like this is a character, right? Nux Anner. He's going to be mentioning something about this guy named Asmongold, or at least these are their YouTube names, right? So Nux Anner, which has an incredible 834,000 subscribers. Holy fucking shit. And this is all, are we in Hawk 2 land? You just say something and then you fucking just get huge, you just blow the fuck up, you just, Zing Yi Quan, you just balloon into the biggest celebrity ever.
Hasan's community is currently all blaming Asmongold for getting Hasan banned. And this is Asmongold's response to that. And I think it's important to show this one.
It's on Nazi troll farm targeting Arab and Muslim streamers. Why y'all gotta make this always about race? Like, y'all always make this shit about race and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Just don't make death threats to people. Like, just stop it.
Yeah.
Fucking stop it. Like, even if there's an organized thread to get these people banned, it's still Twitch that pulled the trigger.
True.
So why don't you be mad at Twitch?
So, you got what? The Medicare fraud. What is this Rick Scott Medicare fraud thing about? And then, how much of, we'll have to ask X Grok, how much of this damn Medicaid is going to get cut? Was it $800 billion? I'm pretty sure that Marianne Williamson said that they're going to try to cut $800 billion. How much Medicare and or Medicaid does Doge plan on cutting? $800 billion. Yep. Marianne Williamson was right. Alright, I didn't actually. So it says $2 trillion. They're trying to cut the stated goal of, hey! $2 trillion from the federal budget, Medicare and Medicaid. It doesn't say exactly how much, but people are saying $800 million. No, $900 billion. $900 billion. So, what's going on? Let's review. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, Republican, says he cares about Medicare, Medicaid, fraud, and then Hasan Piker, he used the K-I-L-L word and said that Republicans, a Mike Johnson Republican, this guy, if he truly cared about Medicare fraud, then he would give the maximum punishment. Later on, he's going to change his K-I-L-L suggestion to a Republican to max punishment. He was like, man, I should have just said he should just push for the maximum punishment. That's what I should have said. Now, Rick Scott, of course, is a senator from Florida. He's a Republican senator. And so he's kind of asking for Republican on Republican maximum punishment, right? And he said it 2 times. So ultimately, the point of what Hasan Piker was doing was highlighting hypocrisy. Let's listen some more to this.
If you're mad
Cartoon
that people
character.
are making this a public awareness, then maybe you should think about.
That's me. I'm Public Awareness. Nice to meet you guys. I've done the most in-depth coverage of Hasan in the last fucking long time.
About why you're afraid of the public being aware of it. Jesus. So, yeah, exactly. Nah, like making this shit about me. Always making this shit about me. It's nuts. What if Twitch is racist, though? It's what they get. Major schizo energy. I think so, too.
I get the same fucking shit. I get the same fucking shit. Nuts, you're a Nazi. I thought you supported free speech.
When asked why people hate Hasan, this should be used as reason. People
It's kind of like Morty, isn't it?
thoughts on Hasan calling you out for having him banned on Twitch for his alleged violence. Hasan was not happy about me saying that.
Context. I wasn't even like being directly mean to Rick Scott. Him and X were crying about it. Yeah, they can suck my entire dick from the back. That's what I think. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
That is crazy.
The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
He repeats it. So the context makes it worse. How's it not against the TOS? It is. And I would challenge anybody who thinks that it's not to say that exact thing about Donald Trump. And then
So Asmongold, he likes to call terms of service the TOS. Because this guy's cool. This guy's a cool guy. Is that against the TOS? That absolutely is against the TOS. BRB, BLT, and of course, SOB, POS, WTFNF, LMAO, ROFL. Hasan Abi was only banned for 24 hours, and then he was right back up. It's Twitch's biggest star, right? So they slapped him on the wrist, and then he actually kind of owned it. He kind of said, you know what? Game recognizes game. I shouldn't have said it. I should have said it that way. I could have reworded it and said that instead of saying the KILLLLL word, he could have just said instead maximum punishment. So Mike Johnson should push for maximum punishment against Rick Scott because the hypocrisy. Mike Johnson pretends that we're going to cut $800 billion away from Medicare and Medicaid and saying that he cares a lot about Medicare and Medicaid fraud, and yet a senator had committed the largest Medicare fraud in history. The DOJ said the largest healthcare fraud in history. And Hasan is no stranger to making controversial remarks. He once said something about America deserved 9/11, and then he also had said that white people were saltine crackers, so he was using racist language, hate speech. He was being a reverse racist. So he had been banned or got a slap on the wrist for, making comments like that from before. But
tell me if Secret Service shows up at your house or not.
Partnered streamer and Hasan Orbiter, Mr. Gremlo.
Expect it is. Like, you...
What a fucking bitch, dude. Honestly, to be like, threatening violence.
Why has he got both of his fingers up his nose right there? Is that like supposed to be a thoughtful position? This guy is such a weird fucking guy. Asmund Gold Clips, he's got 1.18 million subscribers, and this damn thing one day ago got 1.4 million views. Holy shit. Why are we listening to this people? Let's go back to this cartoon character.
People hate Hasan. Are you okay siding with these people? Jesus. Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Dude, again, it's like, Nux is evil, and Nux hates Hasan. Judge me by my enemies. Hasan must be a good guy. Again, I don't mind being the villain.
Oh.
He doesn't
a little bit confused.
mind being the
what
villain.
is this? The admin, the Nazi.
He doesn't mind
right
being
now.
the villain.
Oh my God! Like what is this? Holy fuck! Like why? What are you doing? What are you writing all this bullshit for? Just quit making calls for violence.
Everyone on the Hasan side of the force gets together to take their tiny penises out of their trousers, their teeny weeny itty bitty little micro cocks, and blame Asmongold, and blame me, and blame anybody else on the fucking planet that they call Nazis and other buzzwords. This guy called for the death of a fucking senator. Like, for the love of God, put your needle dick away and recognize that not everything in the world is the fault of random people that you don't like. Actual fucking retard.
Fucking stop it. Stop doing it. Stop, fucking promoting terrorism.
Yeah.
And everything's gonna be fine. It's not about being a fucking Arab. It's not about being a Muslim.
Yeah, and everyone says, oh, Nux, you're being Islamophobic when you say facts about things that are factual. Yeah, totally Islamophobic to say that Hasan, who, by the way, eats during Ramadan and cross-dresses during Ramadan, in case you were curious on how Muslim he is, Nux, you're being Islamophobic when you say that Hasan Piker told his audience to murder a fucking senator. When, Hasan Piker literally told his audience to murder a fucking senator.
It's not that you're a leftist. It's not because you're a man or a woman.
Now, it's good that Asmund Gold and this Nux Anner is against terrorism, because I'm sure they'll speak up against Israeli terrorism, right? I mean, they killed some kids in the West Bank. They're talking about this massive ethnic cleansing. It's supposed to be phase 2 of the ceasefire deal right now. So I'm glad that they're against terrorism, because it's an awful, disgusting tactic. To attack civilians for political purposes is absolutely ridiculous.
Stop it. It's so easy. It's so fucking easy.
Literally.
It's these people are doing...
It's not Asmongold's fault that he got banned. It's not my fault even that he got banned. It's his fault that he got banned. Because he blamed he told his audience to kill a senator. It's crazy. The amount of terrorism he's promoted on his fucking stream, only for this shit to happen.
Mental gymnastics.
Yeah, crazy how that happened. Yeah, mental gymnastics to blame Asmongold and everyone else. Now, in case you were curious, I said in my last video that it's dangerous to promote Hasan, and I think it's unforgivable to promote him.
Violence against an elected official. I'm sorry, I'm a goddamn American. I'm a goddamn red-blooded American. That is my right. The tree of tyranny must be watered with the blood of tyrants, however it goes. The tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants every now and then, okay? Shut the fuck up.
Would you tell that joke about Donald Trump?
Again, yes, I would.
Then do it. Nothing else really needs to be said. Then do it.
I wasn't even, being directly mean to Rick Scott. Kill Rick Scott. Kill Rick Scott. You would kill Rick Scott.
Wait! I just want to make sure everyone knows these are not the beliefs of my employee Asmongold, and we do not condone these threats. Okay? Bye.
Hasan, honestly. I've said this earlier. I've said this on my podcast with Tectone. Maybe my editor will put a clip for it right here. Right here.
Wait, did he?
Let's go.
Wait, no.
Actually, 200% cooked. Let's
Wait,
go, baby.
there's no way this is real. Let me look.
It's real. And that leads into another hot anime take. Inviting Hasan on an anime podcast is indefensible. Another hot anime take for you guys. That dude supports terrorists.
I have actually a comment on this, actually. So, I think the reason why the Trash Taste podcast got so much heat, obviously Hasan is the big part, but I think a lot of people in the anime community, I think, do not want to see the anime community become like the gaming community. That's true.
Well, okay, wait. Let me just really quickly say this. I do not like Hasan, but honestly, I don't care really who gets invited on podcasts to talk about something that's not related to what people dislike. Like, for instance, if you got Osama bin Laden to talk about SpongeBob on the SpongeBob podcast, I would be like, okay, well, this is insane, but I'm down for it. Yeah. Like, it has nothing to do with what, their whole thing. So I personally don't really care that much about something like that. It doesn't matter if I dislike the person. It more matters what the entire subject is about.
Well, I could defend my my hot take on the Hasan.
Sure, go for it, man.
To be a topic. I mean, we could move on if you like. It's your.
I don't care, man. You do whatever you want.
I don't know if any of you have watched the Hasan stream where he actually talks about politics or anything like that.
I don't really watch it much. I've only seen the content nuke.
So all these guys are talking to this cartoon character. So it does say here that Rick Scott had co-founded Columbia Hospital Corporation that later merged with another corporation to form Columbia HCA. And then he was pressured to resign as chief executive of Columbia HCA in 1997 because during his tenure as chief executive, the company defrauded Medicare, Medicaid, and other federal programs. The U.S. Department of Justice won 14 convictions against the company, which was fined $1.7 billion in what was, at the time, the largest healthcare fraud settlement in U.S. history. So, there's... That's the main point, right? That's the idea that he was trying to express. And he said, game recognizes game, and he should have worded it differently. All right, we'll give this cartoon character the last word.
In the clips.
So I have I have a series on my YouTube channel at this point, where I kind of been over analyzing some of his political takes. He actively supports terrorism all the time. Like, he calls for the death.
Okay, so, I want to give my opinion first. It wasn't a threat, right? It wasn't a call to action. He wasn't instigating a riot. He wasn't instigating an insurrection against the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. So, free speech is free speech. Wasn't a threat. But you probably should be careful with how you word things, throwing the K-I-L-L-L-L-L word around. You probably shouldn't throw it around too many times, but I do recall, 12 Angry Men? The whole climax of the 12 Angry Men was the guy that was pushing for the conviction of this guy because he just knew that, the guy was guilty, but really he had problems with his own son. And he says, he said it out loud that he was going to, K-I-L-L-L-L, the guy that he is being accused of, the first degree and M-U-R-D-E-R charge. And so the climax of it where the guy was pissing him off, and then eventually the guy that was pushing for the conviction, he says, "You make me so pissed off, well, I'm going to K-I-L-L-L-L-U." And then the guy retorted, "Now, you don't mean that, now, do you?" So, people have said that phrase before, and people shouldn't be saying that phrase. Because you get mad at somebody, and you're like, "Oh my God," right? They'll get pissed off, and then they'll say, "I'm going to," and that's just an expression of, rage and anger, and it's generally not taken as, just an overt threat. But people shouldn't be thinking that thought, and they shouldn't be expressing that thought, and they shouldn't say it out loud, and you definitely shouldn't be threatening people. So I'm pretty absolutist with my freedom of speech principles, but I feel like thou shalt not threaten others. You probably also shouldn't show hatred and contempt for others too. On your own little platform, I guess you could kind of say what you want to say, but if you go out in public, what was it Mike Tyson says, a lot of people say a lot of crazy shit because, they're not afraid of getting, punched in the face or something like that. So Hasan Abi didn't issue a threat. It wasn't a call to action. It was, if anything, he was just saying the one Republican should point out to another Republican his hypocrisy. If you truly care about Medicare fraud, that's why you're going to cut $800 billion away from Medicare. Then you should really hate that this other Republican had did a bunch of Medicare fraud.
of senators all the time. Multiple times has he called for his audience to kill people that he thinks are bad guys. He not only promotes terrorism and shows terrorist propaganda on his stream, but in my opinion, he is indoctrinating his audience because he will actively not only show terrorist propaganda on his stream, but he will never criticize it. He will bring terrorists onto his stream, and I think it is a danger to, honestly, society to get people into that shit. So I think when you're platforming somebody that is actively promoting terrorist propaganda, and your audience might go to them to look at their stream because, hey, they're cool, they talked about Luffy, and they actively watch terrorist propaganda, I have to say, I think it is wildly indefensible. I think it's not the same as, let's say, a groomer sexually, but this is a groomer philosophically. And I think platforming someone that has not only takes, but full streams, as dangerous as that. I could give you examples that he's done in the last week. He laughs at the coffins of babies murdered by terrorists on his stream.
I saw that was awful.
Yeah, no, but that's just a day of Hasan.
I don't think it's a controversial thing. I think everybody's on the same page here, to be honest. I mean, he's just done disgusting ass shit.
No. But we're not on the same take that I think that you shouldn't have him on your podcast, even if you're only talking about anime.
Oh, okay. So you think that Hasan is not fine to talk to about anime?
I think normalizing Hasan is dangerous.
I think if he's